Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Black Energy and Truth, a podcast where we have open discussion and talk about topics that might seem taboo within the Black community, but don't worry, this podcast is for everybody. Today's episode is about marriage. I have two couples here, a veteran couple, Lawana and Kenji, who's been married for 18 years, and a newlywed couple, Tamika and Kevin, who've been married for 1.5 years. I wanted to get their thoughts on marriage from a fresh and experienced perspective. Marriage, everybody. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, welcome. Thank you for joining me today on this podcast. So if you guys just wanted to start off by introducing yourselves, whichever couple wanted to start.
Well, I'll start. Okay. So I'm Lawana. This is my husband, Kenji. We've been together almost 20 years and married almost 18.
Okay.
And I'm the brother. Y'all could probably tell me and Tamika have been together for about
get it right. Get it right. Let me see the eyes.
The math was a little bad.
We've been married for 1.5 years.
Yes, going on 2.
And dated for about 2 years before then.
Okay. All right, thank you for that introduction. All right, so I just wanted to start off. We're going to start off kind of fun with a fun question. Can you guys explain to me what was your first date, if you guys remember? The first date that you had. So I'm going to start with the veteran couple over there.
What veteran couple?
Veteran couple. We have veteran. We have veteran versus newlywed. So if you guys been together for 17 years and we have
20,
what? Almost 20 years. I am so
18,
sorry.
Almost 18.
Okay. Almost 18 years married, right?
Right.
Okay, been together for almost 20 years though.
Right.
Okay, and then we have the
Year and a half.
year and a half.
That's right.
And how long have y'all been together though?
About 4.5.
Ooh, 4.5 years? Okay. All right, so yes, again, we're going to start with the veteran couple. Just let me know what was the first date. Explain and describe. What was the first date?
It wasn't necessarily a date.
I want to see if you get it right.
What?
Go
It
ahead.
wasn't necessarily a date. I called myself being a nice guy. Decided to stop off at a restaurant, got breakfast, and then brought it up to her place. So, just thought of a good gesture. I'll feed you. I'll take care of you. So, that's how it started. That's it.
Yeah.
Breakfast at home.
What were your thoughts on that when he brought you breakfast?
It was cool, but then we had a few hiccups as TMI for the, but yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Want more.
Let's just say I was more like when he came over. I think I don't know. I'm not gonna say nervous or nothing, but yeah, we had breakfast. He brought food, but I don't know if I had ate something beforehand that wasn't agreeing with my stomach.
Okay.
So I was just like in and out of the bathroom while he was over there, and I was just like, oh, he ain't gonna never come back.
Well, look, almost 20 years later, he's still here. Thank goodness.
That's why I'm drinking.
Okay, can you guys explain what was your first date?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Well, our first date was, I guess unique in its own sense because we met online. So, we met at Home Running Pizza. We had pizza for our first date, and it was the day after my birthday. And he brought a whole cake into the pizza place.
It's like a whole sheet.
Well, not a whole sheet, but we're not supposed to bring food in the restaurant anyway.
Okay.
So the fact that he had set up a little cake, in the restaurant
Candles.
with the candles, he kind of won some points on that. So, but it was at Home Running Pizza.
Did he know what type of cake you like?
He did
No.
not. I didn't even know he remembered it was his birthday. So he was.
Did he get the right cake?
It was. I don't even remember what you got. What you get?
It was like a little old chocolate cake, and I just stuck some candles in it, and I thought it was smooth.
That's so sweet.
That's why you hold that glass like that.
Man, cheers. Right. That's right. I had 364 days before I had to celebrate the birthday.
Started early, spread it out.
So you guys already said that you met online, correct? Okay, so how did you guys meet?
You want to take this one too?
I guess. Well, I got
No, I'm
took
just
off.
saying
Yeah.
because.
Well, we met at work. We used to work at a office supply store. But before I met her, two of her older sisters used to work with my older brother. Not this one, my other brother. And I used to pick them up from work in my brother's car and drop them off at home. And one of the older sisters used to always tell me, "You need to come in and meet my little sister. I'll hook you up with my little sister." Never did it. Never even met her. But then I ended up getting a job at the same store because I knew Cece and Lenore. Ended up getting a job there, and then they introduced me to their little sister.
And to actually add on that, we actually had opposite experience because our father knew her family 10 years before we even met because our father, he had moved her and her mother into the building, so it's like I didn't get the hookup. I could have been a veteran couple already. Let me know. I could have been a veteran already.
I'm so sorry. He had one job.
One job.
Oh my goodness. All right. So next question is, before you got married, was marriage ever a goal or something you saw yourself doing? And this can be answered one by one, individual.
I can take out. I would say, yes, because it's like growing up, I was really surrounded by marriage because I'm watching my older brothers do it, and then it also to my friends, they were together and they was getting married. So it's like I was never around a bunch of single people, and in the single life was never really put in front of me like that for me to really go afterwards, which is a great thing. Which again, the advice is, if you want to find someone to marry, make sure they are around a positive marriage, because that also helps because her parents were married. So just being around positive marriages helps out.
Oh man, so I guess if all my friends are single, I'm gonna be single.
No.
Saying?
No. See,
I'm not saying that absolute, but it helps. But you can look at your parents.
Understandable.
And for men, it's a domino effect. So if you want to be married as a young person, you want to look for a man that has friends that are married. Because if his friends weren't married, he wouldn't be ready.
Okay.
So it kind of,
All right, y'all hear that, younger generation, my generation.
But would you agree?
I mean, to a certain extent, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you're dating someone that is single and hangs around a lot of single men friends, yeah, he's probably not going to be ready anytime soon.
Okay. Hey, that makes sense to me. All right. So with that being said, Miss Tamika.
So the question was, did I see myself getting married?
Mm-hmm. Or was that ever a goal or something for you?
So again, what he said, my parents been married 40 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good job, right? But, so I grew up being sold the fairy tale dream. Like, this is just what happens. This is what life looks like when you get here, and there. And it didn't turn out that way. So I did see myself getting married. I didn't see it being difficult as it was to find that person.
Okay.
I just thought it just naturally happened. So once I got to the age where I was ready to get married, it was kind of jumpy because I didn't know what was going to happen. It was just, we just living life right now, So that's pretty much what it was.
Okay.
Hi. Did I see myself getting married? Eventually. But did I see myself getting married to him once we met?
Really? Okay.
Him once we met? I was hoping, because actually the year that he proposed, which was Christmas, he proposed. I was actually telling some of my friends that's what I actually wanted for Christmas was a ring. Didn't know that that's what I had. So.
Man,
Kim, now let's answer questions. Y'all doing a lot of talking.
No, just to piggyback off of what my brother was saying. The thought of marriage initially, it wasn't really a thought for me because, again, first of all, I want to say thank you because he mentioned us as one of the couples that he, looked up to. But
thank you all.
but as far as the thought of being married, it never really crossed. Not so it didn't cross my mind, but there wasn't, from what I saw, successful marriages before us. My father and mother weren't married. My uncle was the uncle I knew, Dennis. He was basically separated for 20 plus years. My grandmother was widowed, so marriage wasn't really a thing. It just happened.
Okay.
And also too, I would like to add that I got married. He at 32, and it just probably took a lot longer for me as opposed to by the time he was married.
Yeah, I was married at 24.
I ain't gonna say how old I was.
I don't know why I'm acting so surprised, like I wasn't.
You were there.
I didn't know.
What's the pictures?
I'm 23. I gotta find something. Oh my goodness. Okay, I do have a question to piggyback off of what you said, Kenji, but we'll wait for that later. Can you guys tell me about the moment you knew that you wanted to get married to your partner? Like that exact moment. Like what hit you that said, yeah, this is gonna happen?
I think, I kind of went over it on my last question on how I knew. But with him is that, I don't know, he was just a different type of guy. That's, you know what I'm saying? So, and then my thing is like, if I can trust him with like anything, and then being able to trust him with my most prized possession, which was my 3-year-old daughter. Seriously. And my 3-year-old daughter, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he picked her up from school, take her to school, just, he was just all around good guy. So I was just like, and then plus somebody told me too that he was gonna be my husband.
Your mother.
Yeah, my mother told me. She was like,
Miss Hazel?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was like, that's gonna be your husband.
Yeah, I met him.
And I was just like, oh, okay, just below, oh, okay. But once he's just an overall good guy, and yeah, once I knew that I can trust him with you, Jada. Hey, Jada.
Hi.
At 3 years old, and doing stuff that most people wouldn't do, I was just like, yeah, he's a keeper.
Oh, I guess it's my turn?
Sure.
Oh.
Pass it to the right.
No, honestly, I'm a simple person. So I don't like drama and confrontation and all that stuff. So basically at some point, we had been together at the time when I really thought about it, we had been together for about a year and a half. And I thought to myself, I said, well, this is trouble free. This is comfortable. And I made in my mind, before I even took the initial steps, I talked to the guy that was soon to be my brother-in-law, Orlando. He knew way before you did. He knew way before you did.
He actually kept that a secret.
Yes, he did. So I knew him. I talked to him, and I think I talked to my older brother. I'm not sure if we even talked. And I was saying, I told him, I said, you know what, this is about to happen because I was real comfortable. A lot of times people, and this may seem real corny, but a lot of times guys look for other guys, even once they get married, they look for other guys to hang out with and do all this other stuff. and say certain things or certain conversations come up. At the time, and even now to a certain extent, I talk to her like she's one of my guys. And some of the stuff I probably say to her, most guys wouldn't say to their wives. But that's just what it is, you know. If you get comfortable with a person and you realize that you can talk to them and share with them, then that's what made up my mind.
Goals. Oh my gosh. Okay, continue.
I would say, I wouldn't say that it's a moment real. Well, like, one of the biggest things that I would say is that, like, on our second date, we went apartment shopping, which actually was a big like sign because of the fact that it's like, you know, she was willing to be a part of our life and help me through things and make life easier, which, you know, again, as my brother said, is like, you really want a person that makes your life peaceful, and then like, she improves me all the time, and, you know, it's like you could ask anybody who knows that I've came a long way mainly because of her. So like, that's one of the main reasons why I chose to go ahead with it.
Okay, clarification. Y'all went apartment hunting for each other?
No, for me.
Oh, okay, because I was about to say second date.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
There's my third date. There was a third date.
Oh my goodness, I'm trying not to laugh.
Laughter probably started again. Man, toast.
He needs something else. He need to refill. Carry on.
Carry on. Anywho.
Just reach over there.
Are you done, my love?
Oh, look at that. You can tell it's still brand new, my love.
My love. So when I met him, I did not think we would get married. I did not think he would be ready. It took us 6 months to get over the hump. So when I pretty much knew we might have a chance is when his actions showed me that that's what he wanted. And it took about a good 6 months. So the apartment hunting, when I met him, you know, he wasn't set up to be trying to marry nobody. But when he got his own place, he started a new job, and he started doing things that showed me that he was serious about moving forward, then that's what let me know we got a fighting chance. So yeah, it took about 6 months after meeting him.
So were you waiting for him to show potential? Or did you see the potential in him for you to wait around at 6 months?
They all got potential. They got to show it. And, you know, when I met him, he was on that craziness. He don't want to be in a relationship. You know what they do? But when he found out that, you know, when he found out that it wasn't that type of party, you either gonna do what you gotta do or you gonna keep it moving. And then that's when he kind of straightened up and started getting himself together.
Okay, so I'm gonna need your exact words afterwards, cause like, what do you exactly have to say for them to get their life together?
It's not the person's decision. It's just like anybody, even with people who are on drugs. It's up to them to get sick and tired for them to turn things around. So again, when you want, with us, when you want drama free, I think one of the first phone conversations we actually talked about said, I'm not with all that back and forth and all that other stuff.
I don't do drama.
Not doing drama.
And we don't argue. Believe it or not, we don't argue.
We disagree.
We disagree, but we don't argue. We don't argue. Seriously.
They don't argue.
Seriously.
Y'all, whatever.
The only reason if you know that I'm upset with him, you can tell because we just don't talk. Period. So Jada sometimes she's like, "You okay? Okay, y'all ain't saying nothing." I'm like, "No, we good." But that don't last long. After a while, we right back to normal. You know what I'm saying? But we don't argue. We don't argue.
Too much energy.
You know, I actually got in trouble for saying too much energy. But that's how it's.
No, but that's good though, because even at work, I have conversations with people, and they want to get 4 of the execs together and meet together and talk about $100 discrepancy. I'm like, well, this conversation costs more than $100, so why am I going to waste the energy on it?
Yeah.
It's not important. Same thing with marriage. If it takes more energy to argue about it than it does to talk about it, then just talk about it.
You ready for the next question?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, probably.
Okay. Please pour your drink while I'm asking the next question.
Sure.
All right. So for the next question, what are some challenges you face as a married couple? Dang, everybody got silent.
No, you go first. No.
Some of the challenges. Sometimes being able to, I'm not going to say balance, but I don't know, I don't really want to say that's a challenge though. Because you're a jack of all trades, so if somebody call you and say, I need this done or whatever, he do ask first and be like, do you got anything planned? I'm like, no, what's up? Oh, such and such want me to do this. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Let it go, girl.
Sometimes I just be want that attention though. But then I want to be selfish, you know what I'm saying? So I want to be selfish. So I think that's one of the challenges. Well, that's the challenges for me sometimes, the way I feel. Is that sometimes you put yourself out there, you kind of spread yourself thin.
Yeah. But at least I got to the point where I asked. Because remember, at some point, every time my phone went off, I used to say, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my thing. Like when I, and he don't like to rest. So when he finally lay down or something, I like to see him rest. But then, when he days off, he already got the whole days off planned already.
Yeah, got something to do after this.
so that's one of the big challenges. I think you kind of spread yourself thin.
Well, I don't mind. It's the devil's playground.
Any challenges?
Keep moving. Challenge. I wouldn't necessarily say challenge, but for any guy that's trying to truly be a head of his household or try to have some kind of integrity or whatever, is very demanding. And a lot of times I do admit sometimes I get frustrated. And again, it goes back to what she was saying about making myself available all the time. Even at work, I have to be the guy that's always on point. Always on point. So, sometimes, the challenge is always being it's a challenge and a blessing to be a go-to person. Because sometimes you do get tired, but you do realize that if somebody comes to you, then that means they're relying on you to get something done. So again, I complain about the job all the time, but if my bosses and whoever didn't ask me to do certain things, I wouldn't have one. So it's a catch-22. Just being I ain't gonna say overburdened, but just having so much on your plate is a challenge.
Understandable.
Oh man, as for me, I wouldn't say that it's a challenge with her. Is really just a challenge internally, to continue to improve, and that I could do a lot more of the husbandly things and really just evolve as a person. So it's just learning how to use the tool belt around the house and just just the more responsibilities of not just being me. So it's just thinking for two people as opposed to his myself. That's probably the only thing because like even though like she is like fully grown and capable, you really do have to learn how to take care and ask about your wife, which is a process that always be going on with me.
Oh my goodness, y'all need y'all own segment. Yeah.
Oh my God. That ruins a lot of relationships because people go into relationships and their only consideration is themselves. When you're in a relationship, you have to consider other people. There's other things that you're responsible for. What are you looking like that?
Right.
20 years almost. Y'all the cutest. Sad note, y'all are like one of my favorite couples. I'm so serious. They like the cutest. Okay, carry on.
Kevin Hart, don't make me laugh. Okay.
But no, he took the words right out of my mouth. That is definitely our challenge. With him, I have to give him a list of everything, and it's like, but you live here, so why do I have to give you a list? For instance, we've been having the smoke detector beeping for I don't know how long, and I had to tell him, can you please change the battery? And he'll go, is that what you want me to do? It's beeping. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? So I'm glad you understand. You get it?
Right. Like we are beep free.
We are beep free. Like he was just
we may not be bleep free, but at least we are beep free.
And he'll light bulb go out. It's like you see there's no light. Can you change the light bulb, please? So a challenge for me has been, telling him what to do versus him taking the initiative and just do it. I'm not gonna do it. So
it's the opposite over here.
Right.
Somebody sit down somewhere.
No. But I think that's what you want sometimes, for me to be more hands-on with certain stuff, and I'm just like, you can do it.
Well, not saying I'm a boss, but it's like sometimes you want to delegate. Okay, I don't have to be involved in every transaction, every situation. I want to, be sure that certain things are going to be handled if I'm not available to do it.
I get
You do have to be involved.
Look, since the person who always want me to work on their car.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wrong way. Sorry.
Next question. Did anything change in your relationship after you got married? Like the dynamic of your relationship from dating to getting married. Like, did anything change? Did the way you act, anything that you could think of? Or was it the complete same? Like, y'all went about y'all life, oh, we just got married and it's the same old stuff.
I think it do change. I mean, I don't know if you just like they said, now you can't just think about yourself. You definitely got somebody else to think about. I mean, you had that in a relationship, but now that you're married, it's just like you're obligated to think about the other person. But I don't say, did anything change besides having 2 babies?
Oh, child.
What really changed though?
Well, I don't know. Again, it's always a learning process. Went from I was still trying to hang out quite a bit. Then I got a nice little curfew.
Nice.
Nice little curfew.
Nice.
But was still trying to hang out all the time, and that wasn't going. And that's what a lot of guys mess up too. They always trying to maintain their single life, but just trying to hang out.
I mean, the only thing that I would say is that you would have to make more of an effort for dates, because as opposed to living separate, y'all have to set up a time to go out and once you live in the same house, just like you have to watch yourself and make sure you don't get comfortable and say like, let's just stay at the house. Ain't nothing out there that excites us, so let's stay home. But just make an effort to do like dates and go out and meet people. It's like you just got to make an effort for it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, dating was definitely fun. And we stop. and when you get married, it does slow it down a little bit, the fun aspect of it, because you have that business aspect that comes in, and you find yourself talking a lot about business.
What business?
Like this got to be paid.
Girl.
You don't pay the mortgage or pay the car note, or you want to go out and have dinner and drinks. Especially if people, thank God we blessed where we, you know what I'm saying, we can do both. But sometimes the priorities is making sure your household and stuff is straight first. That's the main priority.
Yeah.
And then, then you can go and do all the extra stuff.
Yeah, because some people be like, yeah, let's take this trip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, come back to an eviction notice. People actually do that.
They will.
Like even now with this COVID-19, people got that $1,200 and went crazy. No, you still have responsibilities.
Yeah.
Take care of them.
Yeah. And he's not a business person, so it irritates him if I say, "Babe, we got to talk about this." So, just trying to figure out how to keep it fun, but then get the business done on top of that. I think that's the biggest change for us now.
I agree.
On top of that, have you noticed a change in your partner over the years that you guys been together? Because I know some people say that basically over the years of relationship you have to grow with your partner. Like some people might not be the same person that they was 5 years ago. So have you noticed a change in your partner? If so, was it a good change or was it something like, and it doesn't have to be a physical aspect. It can just be them as a person.
I think with him, like, the term feminism, he's a maleism.
No.
Yeah.
That's required justice.
He's having a very hard time realizing that he has a new life right now, and he tries to hold on to his independence as long, for whatever reason, without understanding that my job is to make his life easier, and he want to take the hard road just because it comes from me, and he don't want to take no authority from nobody. So he has to try to get over that. So he changed in that aspect. If I tell him, babe, take an umbrella to work, it's gonna rain today. Oh no, it's not gonna rain. The weather said it's gonna rain, but because I said it, he's not gonna take it. But if I say, okay, man, it's not gonna rain, so just go ahead. Oh, well, I'm gonna take an umbrella just in case. So I gotta play reverse psychology. Because if I say it, he feel like I'm giving him some sort of authority. So he, gotta work on that.
That's right.
Is there a reason you do that?
No, because those wet clothes is a victory for me.
Okay.
No, but like a thing of her changing is like like I don't see like like she he is more willing to be to learn more about me and be more open-minded as far as like my activities. I say like I'm here, if I want to go to a show, she'll tag along, get like like I've actually got her to go bowling with me, so like she is very willing to do anything, which I guess you would call that change, because like she'll share interests with me.
I better. He gonna go anyway.
You got something?
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
No, actually, this is actually my fault. I guess I was a bad influence because when we first got together, she would never take a drink. Ever. Ever. I used to hang out with my in-laws quite a bit, and she would never come around because she didn't partake in any. She didn't drink anything. So again, when I was hanging out, I wasn't hanging out with my people. I was hanging out with her people, but she wasn't there, and she would not drink. And now the tables have turned.
Really? You said you put me out there like that? I mean, like out of all the things, this is what you.
I'm just saying.
Hey,
Things
her
change.
people get her to drink.
Well, bed toast.
I'm learning. The things I never knew. All right, so we have some listener questions that people have asked.
Uh-oh.
So before I get to my last question. So one of them is, does marriage ever get boring or repetitive? And how do you fix that?
We're going to make the veterans go first.
Right.
Why you look at me? No, it does get repetitive, but in my world, that's, well, to a certain extent, that's okay, because a lot of people, they fear the unknown. If it's repetitive, then you know what to expect or whatever. But you still have to do certain things that are kind of off routine. But being repetitive, you should hopefully be excited that certain things are repetitive. Because again, to fear the unknown or all that stuff, and your world will be upside down. Like she said, we're blessed to the fact that we don't have to worry about the next meal. We don't have to worry about, well, not right now. We don't have to worry about the bills being paid and all that stuff. That's a given. So repetitive, not too bad.
Boring?
I wouldn't say that.
No, I won't say that, but repetitive, I'll say yes, because we're basically doing the same thing today. I mean, even though we're at home, we still working. We still work full time, 9 to 5. So he's downstairs, I'm upstairs. It's just he come up here to get his coffee. You know, I take a lunch break every now and then. You know, and that's it. You know, it's the same thing every day. Showers, go to bed, get up, do the same thing.
Same thing.
Over there, so.
Yeah, well, man, it was a joke I had heard that, a boring marriage is a good one. So it's like, a boring is pretty good, because the exciting ones, you really don't want to have to deal with that all day. So it's like, I'm actually glad that once we wake up, our house is quiet, and like, if we just gotta find something to do. So it's like, we don't have any drama or anybody interfering with us. So basically, we don't have anything to do but love each other and make it home from work.
They got ooh. They got to do but love each other. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, just.
Does it get boring? Repetitive?
I guess he just said we were born. Is that what you were trying to say? And I guess since we don't have kids, maybe it is. It is quiet. It gets quiet. And he play his game, and I watch my shows. So I guess that's repetitive. Yeah, so it slows down.
Understandable.
But you have to think about it this way too, and just knowing y'all have been places, so it's not like, okay, it's boring, I'm in a rut, oh, I hate being here. No,
Right.
repetitive is a different thing, and that's why I say boring. No, because if things did get to the point where, okay, I'm tired, I need a change of pace, let's take a trip. And most people would be like, okay, I'm boring, I'm getting out of this marriage. No. Like, okay, this routine has been going on for a while, let's throw a little change in there. That's a different thing than to say just boring. Like, okay, tired of this. That's
Yeah.
I don't know.
And even getting, like, say if you do go on a trip or whatnot, even getting prepared for that trip, that's the fact that you're getting prepared for a trip, that's like a change, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what does marriage consist of in terms of rules, standards, boundaries? Like, what is allowed and what isn't allowed?
Your phrase.
No, you know
your phrase. Your phrase.
My thing is don't do nothing you don't want me to do. And I think we kind of live by that, you know. So when you think in your mind that you want to do something, just think of me doing it like 10 times worse, or whatever. But I'm serious. That's the phrase that we kind of don't do nothing you wouldn't want me doing.
I like that.
That's our thing.
And same here, I'm eye for an eye.
You know. So. And as far as rules goes, I don't think we really have rules. It's just like we both our own person, you know. But keep in mind though, just like you said, I got a husband, you got a wife, so it's just those standards that it's just a given that I shouldn't have to tell you what I expect as a wife, and vice versa. You shouldn't have to tell me it's just certain stuff you just don't do when you marry. That's how I say. That's how I think of it.
And I mean, it's like I wouldn't say that like it's a lot of rules. It's a lot more unspoken rules as a husband. So like you just learn your partner here and know what not to do, and stuff like that. So like you know, like just learning the rules is more it's a harder process than following them.
Yeah, and I guess since we are newlyweds, we still working that out, and so we got a ways to go.
Y'all still trying to establish y'all rules?
Trying to establish the rules, see what works, see what don't work,
Oh my
see what we gonna compromise on, let go,
You know.
that type of stuff.
And things and what works in one person's household doesn't necessarily work in somebody else's. Like I know guys that the day after they got married, they made their wife change their last. You got to change their last name. We need to open up these joint bank accounts. We need to. That's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a joint account. She has access to my account, but we don't have a joint account. She didn't have to change her last name. It's not about all that. You know, your ultimate goal is to make your household livable and peaceful, whatever it takes.
Makes sense. Yeah, we figuring all that out.
I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the soul crushing feeling of having to apologize when you know you're right.
Get used to it.
Oh my God.
Because like it is.
Okay.
You want your
So,
household peaceful, sometimes
Right.
you gotta bite the bullet.
You
That's
don't
all.
like these.
I love peace.
You and our kid like being in trouble.
He does not like these.
Y'all like being in trouble.
okay. So, I want you guys to think about like any type of advice that you would give my younger generation, because like I said, I don't really believe people in my age group, and I'm 20 something. So people in my age group, they don't really believe in marriage and stuff like that. Like I'm seeing more so baby showers, makeup and breakups, pretty much. Not a lot of weddings. I probably, out of my high school group, I probably seen like a handful of weddings. And I don't think like one of them didn't work out, but that's another story. But yeah, so just think about any type of advice or anything you would like to put out there about marriage. Anything significant that you probably even learned about being married. But I do have a question, and I've seen this like on a lot of podcasts and stuff, which is very interesting. So does the amount of sex decrease over the year that you've been married, and why is that? Like, why does that happen? Is it because in y'all case y'all got kids or whatnot, or why?
We're trying to have kids.
Oh, y'all have fun with that.
Well, for us, I think now, again, we only been married a year and a half, but I think it doesn't decline, but the way it happens changes. So when you single, you know, you pretty much you stay ready, right? It was what simple text like what you doing. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
So if you interested, you text back what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you stay ready.
So
funny. But now that we married, you send that same text. The responsibility different.
Right.
So,
a booty call is actually harder the closer your heart together.
well, it goes like this.
At least I ain't got to drive over.
Right.
See, if he's at home and I'm at work and he asks me what I'm doing, I'm gonna be like, I'm working. What you doing? Are you cooking and cleaning? Now, depending on his answer, it's gonna depend on what he get there. Right? Now, we haven't had too much problem because he likes to cook. So, but if I gotta come home cook and clean, yeah. But if I come home, house clean, dinner ready, yeah, it's gonna be right. We good. Right?
That's so funny.
No,
Reverse on that.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say. Yeah, it does. Well, we had 2 kids in the house, so now they're teenagers, so they just like up all night. So it's just like, and first of all, I just feel like very uncomfortable discussing this with my daughter. But it does. I think my mindset is just like, he here all the time, so I can get it whenever I get good and ready. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I can wait till tomorrow. I'm saying that's just my mindset. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, he here.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta make no appointment.
See, the men real quiet on this, and I would like
That's
to know
what
what y'all think.
I said. Go ahead. No, I want to hear your take. Seriously.
No, well, you know what? I think is
Don't get in no trouble though.
our kids are real comfortable with us. Even the one holding the camera. They'll walk in and they'll walk right in our room.
Yeah, I think okay.
Or, they'll walk right in the room. I'm like, if the door closed, you gotta knock first. So it's just the possibility that, kids, even though the youngest one is 14, just teenage kids, they cock blockers.
Makes sense. All right. Thank you for answering that one. I know that was a struggle for my mother. But anyways, let's move on to the last question, then we're going to wrap it up. Any advice or anything that you've learned during your years of marriage that you would like to share?
Marriage is going to be a lot harder to enter into because, as y'all young people, y'all have so many bills and responsibilities and everything, and just trying to find someone on the same page when during is a time that so many distractions out there. It's really gonna be hard to find someone to focus on marriage because it doesn't give. It does, but just immediate results and pleasure. And the second thing I like to say is like when you are with someone, you genuinely have to be interested in the person you are with. Say like you want to learn them, or you think about what they're doing, or you think about including them into what you're doing. So you really gotta genuinely be interested in a person, and a lot of flash I think takes forefront, and you really gotta be genuinely interested in the person.
That's so true.
Go ahead. 'Cause I was gonna say one thing, and I live that, and I tell people this because some people ask me how you stay long, how y'all been married so long or whatever. First of all, you got to give each other space. Even though we married, I still go on my little girl trips. I've been trying to get him to go on the gas trip soon as this stuff gets up. Y'all get gone. But give your own space. And then my thing is that a single person can't tell me how to stay married. or somebody who's never been married. You can't tell me how to stay married. So sometimes you can't look for advice for friends like that, especially if they've never been through it. You know what I'm saying? You can't give me no advice on how to stay married if you've never been married. So that's something I do. And then keep people at the business too. Sometimes you can't tell everybody everything. You can't. Because we have our little spats. I'm not finna go and tell my family every little spat that we have. And I know I'm gonna be right back laid up with them. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, you can't. Sometimes you give people too much information. And then soon as y'all get back together, now somebody trying to ruin that. So, sometimes you gotta keep people out your business too.
And be true to yourself. I know a lot of people, they like nitpick on little things. Like, okay, I don't see myself being with this person because of A, B, and C. But you need to realize that they have a list of their own that they don't like about you. And if they haven't brought it up to you and they're willing to overlook those faults, you need to overlook a few things too. Because you might only have A, B, and C against them, but they got D through Z on you. You look foolish trying to end that relationship, and you the one that's more of a burden than a blessing.
And for me, as far as advice goes, now I'm not too far removed from from being single. But what I did was I sat down every single elder woman in my family, and I told them to lay it on me thick. I want the truth, because I think I was sold a fairy tale that wasn't true. And they laid it on me thick. And I think I was actually dating him at the time, and it wasn't going well. Like I said, we had that 6-month hump to get over, and everything I would bring up, like, I don't think it's gonna work. First thing grandma told me, when you meet somebody, honey, everybody got somebody. As a single woman, we don't want to hear that. Grandma told me.
But it's true.
And it helped me live through some things.
Yeah.
Get the sweat. But,
No man toast.
It is what it is. Because one thing about the elders, like we can look at grandpa, and grandpa always gonna be our hero, but grandma did some things to get him right, so they know, the real deal. Another thing, like I was nitpicky. I was trying to find whatever I could, like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Like, he is heavy in video games. And I'm like, Mama, he played video games. I said I would never date a guy that played video games. For some reason, it just irritated me. I just thought you get a certain age, you don't play video games no more. And my mama looked at me, she said, let me tell you something. She said, when a man has a hobby, let him keep his hobby, because you don't know where he at all times. And I'll be damned. He get a new video game every month. I got a new video game waiting on him. So I so into his hobby. So without those conversations with the elder folks in my family that's been there, it probably would look different for us. Because I was nitpicky and trying to, be like, nah, I want this. I had that picture in my head of what I wanted. I mean, even when we met, he had on this hideous looking shirt.
Not the one with the flame.
No.
Okay.
No. It was hideous. And this is the first date, and first impression is everything. And I went to grandma, like, Grandma, I can't do it. This ain't gonna work. And she said, sweetheart, when you meet a man in a pinstripe suit, you keep him in a pinstripe suit. Cool.
What does that mean?
It means do not dress him up for the next one. That's what that meant.
Uh-huh.
And you still got that shirt, don't you? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he still got
I keep that shirt on spike.
So I got over that.
Stop. No, don't even go there. No.
Really?
No, stop.
Is that why you keep that black striped shirt?
That's my work in the yard shirt.
But when you single and you first meet somebody that don't dress like you want them to dress, that's it. Ain't no second chances. So I had to kind of get over all of that and move forward and look on the inside to that good heart. Ain't that right, babe?
That's right. And you know, like, I'm sorry I'm going sick of time, but as far as gas, if y'all do the marriage right, it's more likely that y'all stay out of trouble, because every guy knows other guys with whose check is diminished by child support. Their clothes are burned up and all that. So it's like, when you are married and do it right, you do stay out of trouble, because you know, you really don't have as many problems, unless you really just chose the wrong person. So, you know, again, it goes back to choose the right thing, be genuinely interested in them, and stay out of trouble that will make your life hard.
And ain't nobody perfect.
Oh, and disclaimer. Yeah, he plays video games, but he's also gainfully employed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That was a good discussion. Yeah.
Because those 40 hours a week are getting in the way.
Some guys feel that way. They want to play. They want to get paid playing 2K. No. Get a job first.
Right, you do that after, you know.
Oh my goodness. Well, that sums up today's episode of Black Energy and Truth. I would like to thank my guests. We have Tamika and Kevin, and we have Kenji and Lawana. Thank you guys for joining me. Bye.
Bye.
So again, I would like to thank my guests for joining me on today's episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can watch and listen to this episode on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at Black Energy and Truth. And also be sure to follow us on Instagram at BETPodcast. Thank you.